Protesters clashed with police on Monday in a series of anti-government demonstrations organized by DRP.
Prior to the demonstrations, police officials warned that force will be used to crack down on any demonstrations within the high-security zone. Protests were controlled on Monday night by force. Riot police used tear gas to break demonstrations in some of the high-security zones. Protesters made several attempts to break into the high-security zones, including the areas around Presidential Palace, the Parliament, and tear gas was used at each attempt to break up the crowds. Several people were injured during the clashes. Parliament members of DRP who lead the protests were taken under police custody after 12 midnight. Some of the protesters were also detained along with DRP's leading activists. However, Omar Nasir, who is one of the deputy leaders of DRP and was at the front line of the demonstrations, was not taken to police custody. Parliament members were released from detention around 2 a.m. Following the protests, high-security zone was patrolled by the Maldives National Defence Force. Some of the journalists covering the protest were also injured by police forces. Some were also taken under police custody. At the demonstrations in front of the Foreign Ministry, police used tear gas without any warning either to demonstrators nor journalists. Media personnel were also removed from police zone by force during the demonstration, leaving some journalists injured. 2 newscasters from mnbc-1042 were treated at ADK hospitals for the injuries, along with journalists from other media. Police media official confirmed that some journalists received injuries during their removal by force from police security zone. He said the force had to be used when the journalists rejected warning to leave the area. Managing Director of mnbc-1042 raised concern over the incident. He said that he will meet with police officials to ensure the safety of the journalists and their equipments in such demonstrations.
Human Rights Commission of the Maldives, Maldives Media Council and Maldives Journalists Association issued statements condemning use of force against journalists who were covering the DRP protests on Monday night. The statements called on police to stop using brute force against journalists and to give them protection as stated by the Constitution. President Mohammad Nasheed also raised concern over the reports that journalists were injured by the police forces during anti-government demonstrations. Head of President Office met with members of Media Council and Journalists Association on request by the President. Special Envoy of the President Ibrahim Hussein Zaki, Press Secretary Muhammad Zuhair, Deputy Under-Secretary Aishat Shwekar and Communications Coordinator of the President's Office Hushama Muhammad joined the meeting. Members of the Media Council raised their concerns during the meeting. They noted that sometimes journalists are directly subject to brute force by police officers during the protest. They added that tear gas and pepper spray is sometimes used with no prior notice or warning to journalists. The police media official who joined the meeting said that sometimes the journalists go against police orders and act as protesters themselves. Police media officials also claimed that some people act as journalists during the protests with forged identities. Special Envoy of the President Ibrahim Hussein Zaki said that disputes between media and police are unacceptable. He added that the current issues should be addressed with dialogue to reach a solution. Cabinet discusses government budget for the year 2011. The Cabinet in particular discussed the importance of balancing the budget and taking government revenue into consideration when ministries propose projects in their budgets. Department of Immigration and Emigration establishes the first forensic document laboratory in Maldives. The laboratory was established with the latest technical equipment. This is under an aid scheme from the Australian Department of Immigration and Emigration. With the help of software technology provided by Australia, passports, visas, work permits and other travel documents can be verified at the laboratory. The software includes over 3,500 security features which enable identifying forged travel documents. Speaking at the inaugural ceremony, Minister of State, Comptroller of Customs Ilyas Hussein Ibrahim said that the operation of the laboratory will ensure that travel documents of passengers entering Maldives will be examined for authenticity. Consultants from Australia's Department of Immigration and Emigration also participated in the inaugural function. The consultants from Australia are currently training 15 Maldivian customs officers to work in the laboratory. Former Atols Minister Abdullah Hamid's attorney Shaheen Hamid issues a statement in defense of his father. The statement rejects the claim that trial of the case filed by Prosecutor General against Abdullah Hamid is delayed by Hamid's refusal to attend trial. The statement said that Abdullah Hamid is ready to challenge the lawsuit. It said that a team of lawyers had already written to the criminal court and all the legal documents required to be presented in court as Hamid's defense are ready for presentation at any time the court orders. However, criminal court says that the case has been scheduled for a hearing for 4 times. Criminal court has requested the Maldives Police Service to summon former Minister Hamid to the courtroom under police custody. Criminal court has also ordered the Immigration Department to freeze his passport. Shaheen's statement also noted that the request made by Hamid's lawyer to Prosecutor General's office to provide case details has not yet been answered. Now we take a look at news from the international arena.